Hey everybody, welcome to the show. It's Dr. Levi with your show, The Dr. Levi Show. Today is August 1st, 2018. Beautiful day here in Los Angeles. Not as hot as it has been. It's still pretty hot in the desert areas, of course. And you know, our heartfelt everything goes out to the people who are suffering from the wildfires throughout California and throughout the United States in certain areas. It's really unbelievable. You know, in my life at 35 plus, I don't remember having this many wildfires at one time that have been so really just outrageous, just unbelievable. So let's really keep the first responders and the people that have lost property and the animals that have been killed. Let's really keep them in our thoughts, prayers, and positive meditation. I think it's really important. And it's so wonderful to have first responders who are going out and doing an extraordinary, heroic, what I call Avengers, X-Men kind of job. You know, these are real heroes. These men and women who are fighting these fires are just extraordinary. So, personally from the Dr. Levi Show and staff here, and from my private practice, I want to just thank all of you for all your great work. All right, so with that said, today we're going to be taking questions from gamers internationally, from around the world, from gamers and esports athletes who play Fortnite, Dota, League of Legends. Anything you can think of, they're sending me questions about it. Call of Duty. So I want to take your question about issues that you're having. Before I go there, I want to address several questions from parents that I've gotten about their children who play video games. So the parents were really concerned about their children and their teenagers and some even their spouses playing too much. Well, let's talk about that. Everything is about moderation, and so if you're a professional gamer, well, of course, you have to play 12 to maybe 18 hours a day. That's a given. If you want to be the best, if you want to be the best on your team, this is a given. At least 6 days a week, many of you. With that said, if you are not a professional gamer and you don't have aspirations of being a professional gamer, then you have to think about moderation. So, and moderation is what works for you and your family and your relationships and what allows you to have maintained relationships. So if you're playing for 14 hours a day and then you're going to work for 6 hours a day and you're coming back with no time for your family, for your children, for your animals, for your relationships, then you have to think about what can you do to get things into a better perspective for yourself as well as for your ability to maintain great relationships. So moderation is the key. So with that said, I want the parents to know the most important thing to address is communication. Have open lines of communication with your spouse, with your children about how the video gaming activities are impacting your relationship, and then how you can maybe do things together. Maybe you can game with your spouse. Maybe you can learn about the game and cheer them on while they're playing, and then say, okay, let's do 3 hours or 4 hours of gaming together, and then let's take a break and let's not do that. And then maybe they can do something that you want to do. It's really, relationships are always about compromise and always about authentic, honest communication. We have to communicate with people that we love and people who hopefully love us. That's important. So I hope that helps. And to the parents out there, there's always hope. It's just imperative that you communicate. All right. Now, with that said, then you have to have an action plan. The action plan has to be, well, I'm going to game this number of hours per week. I'm going to spend this amount of time with my family, my friends, my animals. I'm going to do this type of volunteer work per week. I'm going to go to synagogue, church, my temple. You have to have time that's allotted for all these activities that really make you a whole and complete person. Gaming can be a part of your life, but it's so important that you have it in a compartment of your life that works for the rest of your life. All right? So it's not only about gaming, it's also about the other things that you do. So I hope that helps. Again, action plan, open communication, and then schedule things that you want to do, even gaming, and of course, time for your relationships. Now, I want to address an issue that came up in my office recently from a parent. And she was concerned that when she doesn't allow her son to game, he starts to cut himself. So Okay, as I shared with her, and I told her I would share this story, and she was okay with it. Um, if you have a spouse or child who is cutting themselves, it's imperative that you get them immediate help. That's important. So you want them to see a psychologist, a psychiatrist, so that they can get a plan together of how to help them, and don't want to wait, because you don't want to be in that place of, well, now they've actually harmed themselves beyond any comeback, i.e., suicide, and now you're there with the thought of, I wish I would have, could have, should have, but it's too late. So we're going to leave on the screen later the 1-800 number for suicide prevention. I think that's really important. I want everybody to have that at their fingertips. I I have it in my phone. Just put it in your phone. It's really easy. So that if you can refer someone for help, then you need to do that. And then secondly, as I shared with her, she has to get him help, but also she has to find out what she's doing to enable that behavior possibly. So I didn't say she was an enabler. I said there's the possibility that she is enabling. So the goal here is really to have everything laid out in a very specific, honest way, and then to have an action plan to get things done. Because it's not about what you say. This is LA where I live, so there's a lot of this. It's not about that. It's about, are you executing? Are you getting the work done? It's like being fit. When it comes to fitness, you can read all the fitness books in the world. You can look at all the fitness videos in the world. But guess what? If you don't do those exercises, if you're not mindful of your diet, then guess what? Your body is not going to change, and don't expect it to do that. Why? Because if you do the same things, you get the same results. So if you're not exercising, don't expect a exercise body. If you're not exercising, don't expect to stave off the issues of diabetes, heart disease, osteoporosis, stroke, and different forms of cancer. It's so important that you exercise every day. Well, exercise can be transferred to this issue of psychologic and psychiatric health. It's so important that we really embrace the people in our lives whom we know have what appears to be psychiatric or mental illness. Mental illness has so many stigmas in America, and I really think throughout the world. And it's so important that we do what we can to demystify mental illness and do what we can to be a proactive person in the life of someone who may have mental illness. Now, I want to circle back to the mom who has the son who's cutting himself when he's not allowed to game. So, as I told her after she talks to the psychologist, and I recommended that they do it as a family unit together, really lovingly together, to know that everybody's on board with the same plan to help. Everybody's on board without any judgment, without any finger pointing, without any I told you so's. Those never help a situation. It's like two things I know that don't help a situation: the I told you so's and the silent treatment. Try that in a relationship. Try having a discussion or even an argument, and then one person just puts the other one on ice for several days and not speak, not have any type of social contact, any type of intimate contact, just a total breakdown in communication. Well, that never works. So it's just like the I told you so's of judgment. That never works. So it's really an imperative that you simply go to a place of internal love, compassion, respect, and the real honest, now I want you to hear this, the honest feeling of involvement, that you want to truthfully and authentically be involved in the life of the person that is going through this mental illness struggle. And I think if we do that, then there's a greater possibility and hopefully a better chance that that person can get the help that he or she needs, and that the family can get the help that the family needs, and most importantly, that everyone can be involved. That's the key. In relationships, it takes two. In a family, it takes everybody. We've all heard that the old adage, it takes a village to raise a child. Well, sometimes it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a family to raise a family. The family has to do it together. And you want to do it, of course, in a way that's loving, that's profound, that's real. Be real. Why? Because if you're the best possible version of yourself, then other people have access to who you really are. not to the person that you're projecting, not to the facade. Mm-mm. That's not whom people want to see. That's not, they don't want that. They want the real you, the you that's loving, that's kind, that's generous, that's compassionate, that's not judging, that's present, that is invested, that's authentic. That's the you that the world wants. That's the you that the world needs. So, to the mother whom I spoke to about her child, and I spoke to him also. He was there too. We were talking about this. They were clear that they would take the action plan the way we talked about it, that they're going to go and get the help starting this week, and that he would do his best to, instead of gaming 17 to 19 hours a day that he was gaming, which is pretty intense, that he's going to cut that down. And we gave a game plan of how to do that in a way that it's not going to leave him feeling isolated or feeling like the family's abandoning him or that he has no rights, because he does have rights. He's a teenager, and I told the mom, and she emphasized me. She said, well, he's under my roof. He has to do what I say. I said, now, a lot of that is true. I said, but if you want peace, yes, you want him to do what you say, but you want to do it in a way that works for both of you. Because if you don't have peace under your house, then what's the joy of that? It's not good for him. It's not good for the rest of the family. All right? So that's what I wanted to share with you. Now, I had some other updates that I wanted to share with you about why I've been away for a few weeks for the show. So I needed a break. That was it. I needed what I called a social media disengagement. I needed a break, and now I feel rested. I feel happy. I'm dealing with the issues in a relationship that I have right now that are pretty intense. So I just want to give you all of me, and that's been taking a lot of energy, and and I want her to be happy, and of course I want to be happy. And if we're not happy together, that's okay. Then we have to part. So that's been really, really intense lately. When I say intense, I mean that's been pretty intense. Yeah. So, but you got to be strong, got to be tough, and got to work things out if it's meant to be. And hopefully they are. And if they're not, then life goes on. Of course, life goes on. Now. The other thing, too, I want to share with you, I've been working on some devices for the gaming community that I'm hoping and praying will come into or onto the market later this year. I'm happy about that. I'm really grateful for the team of attorneys that I've been working with as well as accountants. It's been intense, but all good stuff. So I feel real good about that. So for me, life is good. The radio show, I'm going to talk to our great owner and producer of the show, Tony Sweet, a great man, about, I'm really considering either doing the show every Wednesday or I may do it every other Wednesday. I'm really not sure yet. I'm trying to get a perspective about that. I'm going to let him know today so that, we can fill that slot for him. So it can be someone there not only financially to fill a slot, but also who wants to have a show. 10 a.m. is a great slot for anybody, I think, if they're really invested in doing a show. This is my 6th year doing the show, coming up in October, so it really blows me away that that the show has a community that wants to hear what I have to say, and a show that can tolerate this mug of mine. So I'm grateful, and I thank you for your patience, and I thank you for your consideration. I feel like I want to give like a speech of acceptance or something right now. So other than that, I want to tell you I'm getting ready for some big fitness things. So I've lost about 12, 14 pounds. So I'm feeling really good. My family's like Levi, where is your body? So, but everything is tight, cut, and one of my friends, I just learned this statement. I asked her, I said, am I really too thin? And she was like, there's one word for you right now, Levi. I said, well, what's that word? She said, snatched. I said, that doesn't sound good, though. And she said, let me tell you what it is. So she explained to me what that statement meant, snatched. So it actually means everything is like really, really tight, like really correct. So I thought, wow, I learned something new every day. So that's to Jasmine. Shout out to you and to your daughter who is gorgeous. All right, so that said, let's get to your questions. I want to do a drum roll for you guys. Okay, so let's go. Um, let's start the questions right now. Hold on one second. These are the questions. So the first one is from Epic Vids, VIDS, and the question was simply, I have problems with my fingers when I game. So let's go over some basic things about that. If you're having problems with respect to pain or swelling when you're gaming, so let's go over some basics that I've talked about before. Number one, take a 5-minute break every hour while you're gaming. Do some of the basic exercise that I have on my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is just my name, Dr. Levi Harrison, DrLeviHarrison. We'll have that on the screen for you later. You go to the YouTube channel. Literally, all the stretches and exercises for gamers for the first part are there. Now, I'm working on some other exercises for gamers right now that will come later this year. But for the ones that are there, they're still very, very effective, and they're evergreen. You can always use them. They'll always help you. So go to the YouTube channel, do those exercises, and there is one specifically for gamers, for hand, wrist, elbow. It's all there. If you do the ones for your fingers, they will definitely help you. I recommend that you do them again. 5 minutes every hour. You take a break from gaming. You do them. You stand up, stretch out your calves, stretch out your legs, shake up your body a little bit, maybe do a burpee or two, do some push-ups, get your body invigorated again. Do the stretches, and then go back to gaming for a little while. All right? So that's what I recommend if you're having problems with your hands. The other thing with your fingers, you said, that I would recommend is you can put your hands in warm water for about 3 to 5 minutes also after you're gaming before you go back, and do the stretches in the water. That will also help you a lot to loosen up your fingers and get your hands feeling better. Now, next question is from Taiwan. It's Taiwan number 1, or Taiwan #1. Now, when I do exercises, I feel pain under the thumb. What does this mean exactly? So if you're feeling pain under your thumb, I believe you're referring to the volar aspect of your thumb or the palmar surface of your thumb, then I recommend this real basic exercise, just with the thumb, in and out, around the world, back around the world, up and down. Okay, so around the world, back around the world, up and down, in and out. So those a set of 20, 2 sets, 3 or 4 times a day. I would do those regularly for about a week or two. And hopefully that will strengthen your web space and strengthen some of the more what I call fundamental muscles around your thumb and for your hand. All right? Now, and again, a set of 23, maybe 4 times a day. You can even do it more if you like, but that'll help you. Now, the next is from, I'm going to read this. It says, Liji Laxmi Rath. That's LIJILAXMIRATH. So the question is, hello, sir. Good afternoon. I have elbow open reduction, internal fixation, and also plating. Now, can the doctor suggest that I do some elbow exercises? Which type of exercises should I do? Kindly suggest to me, sir. Okay, so to LIJILAXMIRATH, so I recommend the following. If you had open reduction internal fixation of your elbow, this is someone who's had a fracture of their elbow or some type of trauma where now they have a plate inside their elbow. Or they possibly have a plate along with the radial head replacement. The question is not clear about where the plate is, but it just says elbow. It could be supracondylar, or it could be the ulnar and the radius proximally. It's not clear. Or it could be the distal humerus, as I stated. Bottom line is this. Number one, you should definitely talk to the doctor who did the surgery, because he or she may have specific exercises that they want you to do. And I want to give you guys, again, the disclaimer which I should give at all times, of course, and that is, I'm your virtual doctor, all right? So I'm not able to examine you, to evaluate you personally, to get x-rays, MRIs. EMG nerve conduction study test to actually, put my hands on you to see what's moving, what's not, what's creaking and cracking, what's not, where there's pain and swelling. So it's so important that what we discuss, that you follow up always with your local healthcare practitioner, be it a doctor, a nurse, your physical therapist, whoever is on your team. Make sure you see them. All right, because I'm not able to examine you. I wish you were in LA, then I could do more for you. All right, so let's continue on. So number one, talk to them about those exercises that they prefer. And then number two, the most important thing often after a elbow open reduction turn fixation with plating and screws is often there is loss of extension. So this is flexion, this is elbow extension. And often people will lose the ability to do this, to fully extend the elbow. They'll have a contracture here. It'll be sort of locked. Therefore, ask them about stretch that you can do against the wall to straighten out your arm, to put your body weight against it. But you have to find out when the fracture is completely healed. So they need to do an x-ray to tell you, okay, yes, there's callus around the fracture, or the plate is and the screws are all stable. You don't have to wait 6 to 8 weeks. You need to talk to them about that, because I don't know when you had the surgery, what was done, how it was done, how well it was done. I don't have any x-rays. So you have to talk to them about that. So I can't recommend any exercises until those questions will really be answered. So the number one thing you should do, though, is talk to the surgeons that performed your surgery and then find out from them the specific exercise that they want you to do. Because also, guess what? There are going to be specific exercises they're going to ask you to not do. So, there's a very funny balance between the good and the not so good. So I want you to be sure that you talk to them about that. All right? Now, next question. And this one is from, give me 1 second. This is from Linda Joy. Hi, Linda, and thanks for listening to the show. Happy to have your question also. Hi, Dr. Levi. I had my carpal tunnel release surgery in May of this year. I am concerned because I've been experiencing increased pain following my surgery. The surgery was done because of a pull-like injury, which I also injured my thumb. What do you think could be going on with my hand? These past weeks, I've been in so much, and I want to know why. Now I am also having trouble with my surgery scar being hard and extremely sensitive. Okay, Linda Joy, let's try to give you some joy. So, number one, after carpal tunnel release, you had this in May. So I want to give you what I do for my carpal tunnel patients, and I do this surgery. It's the most common surgery I do, I'd say, second to trigger finger release, or if someone has some minor trauma to their fingertips. But I do carpal tunnel releases a lot. So let's talk about that. So the number one thing after surgery is that you should have physical therapy. Therapy should be 3 to 4 weeks, 2 or 3 times per week. And that is done for you to regain greater strength in your hand and dexterity to get that back, and also to have scar massage and desensitization. So I don't know if your doctor did that or not. So why don't you ask him about getting you back into therapy to do a scar massage and desensitization program, which simply means you're going to, the carpal tunnel. Now, also, what you didn't tell me about your carpal tunnel, was it done arthroscopically or was it done with the mini open incision? So that's something that's also not clear. But the bottom line is this: the scar area needs to be rubbed vigorously every day for about 5 to 15 minutes, 3 to 4 times a day. You want to rub it in different directions. So if your scar is here, you want to rub your scar this way, rub it up and down, circle, reverse circle. And you really want to put some pressure on the area, not just a simple touch, not a simple stroke. No, you want to really get in there and use your thumb to do this. Or you can use like a lacrosse ball, for example. That will also help you. But you really want to put specific pressure around this area so that you can decrease the scar, decrease the hardness of the scar, decrease the thickness of the scar, and of course, decrease the sensitivity of the scar. All 3 of those things, massage therapy will help that tremendously. Now, the other thing I can tell you is that if you go back to your therapist, they may also give you a home therapy program. If they give you that, that's fantastic, not a problem. But just make sure you do it. You know, it's like working out. The gym is where your body is. It's the same with this. You don't have to go to the therapist to do this work. You can do these things at home. So keep that in mind. You can do the massage techniques wherever you are. You don't have to go to them to do it. So talk to your doctor about that. See what he or she prefers that you do. But again, for my practice, I always have my patients do real aggressive scar massage, desensitization, as well as physical therapy. And sometime even after carpal tunnel release, I'll even have them do a little bit of acupuncture. That also helps to decrease the sensitivity. So, and I love acupuncture. It's really it's an unappreciated great modality of healing. So to all the acupuncturists out there, keep up the great work. So Linda Joy, I hope that helps you. If you have questions, you can always reach out to my office or reach out to me again on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. I always respond. It may take me a little while now, but I'll definitely get back to you. All right, now, next question. Then Linda, let me know what's going on. To everyone I'm answering the questions, please let me know how you're doing in several weeks, all right? Now, the next question is from Hen Rai GG. That's Hen, capital R, small y, capital G, capital G. Hen Rai GG. Okay, the question is it normal that after I've done this exercise for the first time, my wrist hurts a little after shaking it up and down? So the issue here, Hen Rai G, is that I didn't know which exercise you were referring to. So if you're saying if you do an exercise for the first time you have pain, that's real easy. I recommend the following. Do them with less intensity and don't do them for as many repetitions. So, often I recommend doing things at least 15 to 20 times, 3 to 4 times a day. Well, why don't you do them 10 times, twice a day, and just see how your body builds up to that. And hopefully that will help you. The goal is the following. As I've said before on the show, and I'll reinforce this, and that is, if you have pain is your body telling you, hey, if you keep doing this, I'm going to make you hurt. So listen to your body. If you have pain, listen to it. If you have discomfort, listen to it. You really want to do things that your body needs and wants, but also if it gives you the signal, hey, not working for me, then you want to back off, do it less. Now, I just had someone who recently asked me in my practice, well, she said to me, she was so funny, she and her husband both, and he was seconding everything that she said. She said, well, any exercise that I do, everything hurts, so I don't want to do anything. And so he chimed in and said, yeah, that's right, Dr. Levi, we don't want to do anything. So what do you suggest? I said, well, I recommend that you do something, because the bottom line is this. When it comes to fitness, health, and well-being, this is one golden rule that I have that I share with my patients, and I'll share with you today as a wonderful audience. That is, if you're moving, you are winning. If you're doing something every day, you don't have to do a lot, but you have to do something. So instead of doing 45 minutes a day, well, what about doing 30? If 30 is too much, no problem. Got that covered. What about 15 minutes? 15 is too much? No problem. Try 10 minutes. But you have to do something. So just like I didn't let them off the hook, the couple that asked me about, hurting whenever they do any exercises. So finally, I want to share this with, before they left, we narrowed down 30 things that they were going to do over the next 3 weeks, easily, 10 for each week. And I gave them that list, and then they were like, you know what? Yeah, we think we can do that. And their goal is to start off at 15 minutes. First, they're going to begin with the walk, then a faster walk, then walking with weights, walking with more weights, and then going back to the gym, because they both have gym memberships, and they want to get back to the gym. But again, they both told me, which I hear all the time, and when I hear this, I literally want to pull out the hair that I don't have. And the statement is, I want to get back to the gym, but I got to get fit before I go back to the gym. I got to tell you, when you're in the gym, especially if you're in LA, nobody's looking at you. These people looking at themselves. They are in the mirror looking at themselves, taking selfies, talking, gaming. They are not looking at you. As important, as wonderful as you are, and I know you are, but I think often we're a bigger star in our own heads than we are in the heads of other people. They're not thinking about you. They have their own bills to pay. They have their own concerns. They have their own relationships. They have their own drama and trauma. They're doing them. So just go to the gym and do you. Why? Because you are enough. You really are. You're enough just the way you are. So don't wait 6 months. I got to work out before I go to the gym. If you want to go to the gym, work out. Don't care about what other people think about you. You know what? It doesn't pay any bills. Because they're not worrying about you. Trust me, they're not. They're really not. So I hope that helps a little bit. And I want to go to some other questions here. So Henry G, your question about the wrist, your wrist hurts. I recommend doing some of the wrist exercises that I have, doing them with less intensity, not as many repetitions, and then possibly doing them every other day until your body builds up some strength and some stamina. All right? So I hope that helps you. The next one is, this was from Afflex, AEEPHLEX. But again, there were no pictures or anything sent. It was just, are these useful if you already have carpal tunnel? So let's talk about that. Yes, exercises are useful even if you have carpal tunnel. The ones that are most potent, I think, and most powerful if you have carpal tunnel would be the gliding exercises. Let's talk about the gliding exercise. We talked about this 1,000+ times here, but let's do it again. The gliding exercises are the following. So you have your hand open. Let's do this. Hand is open. Roll your wrist around. Keep the elbow straight. A set of 20. Back around, a set of 20. If you go to my YouTube channel, I have a whole thing on there on gliding exercises. It's a big video specifically about gliding exercise. Then you want to, so go one direction, set of 20, go the other direction, set of 20. Then make a light fist, and again, go around for a set of 20, then back around for a set of 20. Those are the basic gliding exercises. One thing I often say too is that if you're doing the gliding exercises, guess what? Why not do the inertial exercises also? What are inertial exercises? Those are exercises to help minimize and eliminate the pain and discomfort from lateral epicondylitis, tennis elbow. When you have pain on the outside of your elbow, very, very common in gamers, very, very common in a lot of athletes. In my practice, I take care of a lot of athletes from all over the world, and it's one of the most common things they complain of, and that is elbow pain. So pain on the lateral aspect of your elbow is called tennis elbow. When it's on the medial aspect or inner aspects of your elbow, it's called medial epicondylitis or golfer's elbow. So what are the inertial exercises? Take a look. Your hand is straight like this. Let's go to the side so you can see. And you just hold this position for 30 seconds to a minute. Again, elbow straight. Then put your hand up, palm up. Then bring your fingers as well as your hand back. And you hold this position for 30 seconds to a minute also. And I recommend that you do that for about 2 to 3 minutes, 2 or 3 times a day. You got to think about it. Often people tell me, "Oh, Dr. Levi, I don't have that type of time." Listen, you can do that stretch when you're in your car at a stoplight. You can do that stretch when you're on the metro. You can do that stretch when you're on the subway. You can do that stretch during lunchtime. You can do it when you sit in your car, when you go for a break. Trust me, you can do the exercise. I'm not asking you to dedicate 5 hours to that, okay? So I want you to be healthy. I want you to be fit, and that's the basic exercise that will help you do that. Now, let's go to another question, and I'm going to try to get to as many as I can today. You guys sent a lot. So this one was from Krasnodarova. That's Krasnodarova. And the comment is the following. This is great. Thanks so much. At some point, my wrists stopped being able to go into the push-up position, and they ache easily. I'm hoping this will help restore mobility and strengthen them. Yes. So to Krasnodarova, Krasnodarova. Yes. If you do those exercises, you should have less discomfort and pain. But again, I recommend, if you can, go to a local physical therapist or maybe go to a physician, specifically a hand surgeon, and ask them, are there other exercises that they can do after they examine you? Because I don't know where your pain is on your wrist. What are the things that you do that exacerbates the pain? Do you have swelling along with that? Do you have cracking of your fingers, of your wrist? Have you had previous injury to your wrist? These are all pertinent questions. Do you have any other medical issues like diabetes, rheumatoid arthritis? Have you had trauma to your hand? are you a smoker? Are you a drinker? I mean, all these kind of things that we have to know about. But if you're having problem with the push-up position, that one basic stretch like this, I would recommend this, and then have your hand in this position and then lean against the wall, all right? Then the next position would be just up like this with both hands up and just lean against the wall to hopefully stretch out your wrist capsule and to stretch out gingerly and gently your tendons and ligaments, all right, as well as the muscles, but very gingerly. You don't want to go immediately pow like that. That's not the way to do it, all right? Everything is really about gentle motion. You can be aggressive later, but you want to get to that point where your body will allow you to do that so you can be healthy, all right? Now, next question. I hope that helps you, Krasnodarova. Let me know. This is Jacob, Jakob 123N. Should I do these when I already have wrist pain because my wrist hurts when I try these exercises? So, number one, I always say, if you have pain, be sure to go to your local healthcare provider to find out why you have the pain, so they can evaluate you and examine you, because it may not simply be from gaming. Maybe you have some underlying issue going on, so we need to know about that. So I recommend that you minimize these exercises right now and go to be evaluated by your doctor. That's number one. All right? Now, next question is from Hikam Ben Amer. That's HICHEMBENAMEUR. My arms are so thin, they look like the arms of a girl. This is so embarrassing. I'm 25 years old, and I'm wondering if bones can become thicker and bigger with exercise in adult age. Okay, so let's talk about this, Hikam Ben Amir. So, number one, love your body just the way it is, okay? Just love all of you, period. Number two, you can start working out. The key with getting, quote unquote, bigger guns is the following. You want to work smart. So start off, if you haven't worked out before with weights, then start off slowly. You want to start off with maybe lower repetitions and slightly higher weight. And the weight you should start with would be 50 to 70% of what you can lift safely. If that feels too heavy, you can't complete the repetitions, maybe do 25 to 50% of what you can do. However, it's important that you do these exercises at least 3 times a week. So you want to go heavy 3 times a week and go lighter with high repetition 4 times a week, or have a day in there where you're not doing any weightlifting at all. We have a day of rest. We can rest your joints, rest your heart, rest your body. However, that rest day is not what I call a complete rest day. When people say I take a day off, I just do everything, I eat anything I want. No, I'm not talking about that. The day that you're not at the gym, I recommend you go for a long hike, a long walk, maybe take a swim, maybe do an aerobics class, a Zumba class, a aerobics class, a step class. But do something. But do something that does not involve lifting weights so that your body can simply heal. That's what's important. Rest, and recovery, and I had to learn this myself, really, before I even started teaching this, are just as important as active exercise. We have to let the body rest so it can heal, and then when you come back, it's ready to go, full throttle. That's what's really important. All right, so I hope that helps you, Hikam Ben Amir. Do the exercises. You have my book. My book, The Art of Fitness. You can get it online and get it from the website. It has all those exercises there to strengthen your arms, to have larger arms, bigger arms, more fit arms. Everything is there. The book it's pretty comprehensive encyclopedia of fitness, health, and well-being for lifting weights and being fit and healthy. All right. So the book's entitled The Art of Fitness: A Journey to Self-Enhancement. All right. Now, next question is from Wendy Adams. And the question is, what if my thumb can't bend? So that, Wendy, you should definitely go to be seen by a physician who can not only examine you, but take an x-ray and possibly do an MRI to see why you can't bend your thumb. If you just wake up and your thumb is stiff and you can't bend it, well, we need to find out why. All right, that's important. So don't delay. Don't wait. Don't think, it's magically going to get better. I'm going to keep looking at it until it seems like it's better. No. Go and get help now. All right, Wendy Adams. Okay, next question is from Susan Bennett, Susan, last name Bennett. Thank you for your question, Susan. So I'll address it. So the question is: so I was diagnosed with carpal tunnel syndrome, but is it that common a misdiagnosis for cubital tunnel syndrome? Cause it was always my small finger that goes first because I feel pain around my wrist, often in front as well as back, and the elbow thing doesn't ring true for me. I do experience burning sensations around my wrists, and my small fingers are generally the first to go numb. Am I just pain? This is funny. You say, am I just plain weird? But anyway, you're the gaming doctor. Yes, I am. So thank you. I don't really game, but I'm starting to resume piano. I wanted to let me make sure I'm understanding this now. I don't really game, but I'm starting to resume piano playing that I used to do years ago. And I sometimes have to do a bunch of typing. I'm an outpatient clinician and will also sometimes do testing reports. But I do use an ergonomic keyboard and mouse, which helps a lot. But even if there is such a thing as an ergonomic piano, I don't have access to one. Any advice for piano players and other instrument players? Yes. Well, I want to tell you, I just finished about 2 weeks ago the outline of the exercise that I'm going to show for musicians, for piano players, for drummers, for violinists, and for guitarists. I just finished that. So now I just have to get the videographer whom I want to work with and shoot it. So that's going to be coming out. Now, in the meantime, let me give you a few exercises that you can do to help you. The number one thing, again, for piano is just this. In and out, basically. In and out with your fingers. And then you can do in and out with your fingers and your wrists. So this is a combination of gliding exercises and finger exercises. And you can do the flappers with your fingers and your wrists. This will help you also. Okay? Now, basic gliding exercise will also help. Now, carpal tunnel versus cubital tunnel. Let's talk about that right quick. So carpal tunnel is impingement of the median nerve here in the carpal canal under the transverse carpal ligament. And the cubital tunnel is compression of the ulnar nerve at the elbow here. And this is cubital tunnel here. So cubital tunnel presents with numbness and tingling and decreased dexterity of the small finger and half of the ring finger, the ulnar side of the ring finger. Carpal tunnel syndrome is numbness and tingling in your thumb, index finger, middle finger, and the radial portion of your ring finger, all right? So thumb, index finger, middle, and this portion of your ring finger. It feels numb, feels tingly, lightning sensations, can wake you up at night, inability to pick up, for example, coins. You know, you lose the dexterity of your fingers, or you may have pain that wakes you up at night, or you may have difficulty driving. You know, you have to shake your hands out, or feel like you have to keep massaging your hands. A lot of people have carpal tunnel and not even be aware of it. They'll be sitting in their office and they'll be rubbing their wrist, and they'll come in and say, "I'm rubbing my wrist a lot. I don't know why." I'll say, well, you have numbness and tingling in your finger? Yes. Does it get better when you do that? Yes. Feels better when my hands are up. Feels better when I shake my hands. Feels better when they're submerged under warm water. You know, all of these things are pathognomonic often for carpal tunnel syndrome. Now, cubital tunnel syndrome, very similar, but again, it's only two fingers mainly involved, the small finger and half of the ring finger. Now, with that, again, they can both be treated initially with physical therapy, bracing, and then of course, anti-inflammatory medication, NSAIDs, as well as physical therapy, and then acupuncture. Now, when all of those things fail, and hopefully they won't for you, then you can be treated with an injection, a steroid injection. You know, we can use Kenalog and Marcaine, or Depomedrol and Marcaine as an injection. And then if the injection fails, and I want to make sure you understand too, after you've had an EMG nerve conduction study that has confirmed carpal tunnel syndrome or cubital tunnel syndrome, then you can also be a candidate possibly for surgical intervention. But surgery is always the last thing at the end of the trail. You want to really try to do everything conservative without having the injection possibly, and also without having surgery. But that's the way I treat it, and hopefully you'll talk to your doctor and see what he or she says, and that get you some help. All right. So, and again, that was from wonderful Susan Bennett. Okay, so but there's no ergonomic piano yet. So but those exercises should help you, Susan. The next question is from, you know what? I'm not going to be able to get to this. Uh, okay, I got one. I'll try to get to this one. This is Jaroyo Maranta. It's JARROYOMARANATA. And it says, do these exercises work for weightlifters too? I have sharp pain on my wrists. They hurt even with a handshake, and I have difficulty lifting objects. Yes, well, it sounds like you may have some mild carpal tunnel syndrome there, or maybe not so mild. So do the gliding exercises. Make sure you do this stretch after weightlifting. Do this stretch here. You hold your elbows up, roll your wrists around and back. Put your hands against the wall and just hold. Hold your hands against the wall like this, if the back of your hands against the wall, and just hold that. Those things may help you. Also, if you're lifting a lot of weight, make sure that you try to minimize the weight sometime. Everyone thinks you have to always go heavy. Well, heavy is not always good. Maybe go lightweight, increase repetition. It'll shock your body. And also the other thing that's important is when it comes to working out, it's imperative that you diversify the workout. Don't go into the gym and do the same things. If you do, your body's going to look exactly the same. How can it change? So you want to diversify. The body likes to follow. It likes commitment. It likes consistency, and it likes diversity. If you can give your body that, you'll get more fit. It's easy. Not a difficult thing to do. It really isn't. I got faith in you. So, all right, everybody. I hope the show was helpful today. I had other questions here from Pogba, long shots, from Mark Harris, from Aris Gambari, from JH Gamer 101, and from Syllably, SYLLABLE. I had one from Matt McGee. So I'll get to your questions the next time. Now, and I just want you guys to know I appreciate you, and thanks for all your questions. Remember, game on. Gaming is really it's a part of our lives. That's what we do. And again, I want to remind you, think about everything in moderation. Have open conversation with your family and friends about why you game, and that's what you do. And it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing at all. Just the key is moderation. Well, have a great, great week. It's the first day of August. Can you believe it? This is August 1st, 2018. Think about it. 4 more months after this, game over. 2018 will be gone, and I'll be back at 35 years old again. So listen, this is Dr. Levi. Have a great day. I want to again thank all the first responders for all your great work with the wildfires here throughout not only California, but throughout the nation. And I want to remind everyone to be kind to the veterans. Those great men and women are the true heroes, the true X-Men and Avengers of our society. So be loving and kind to them and respectful, and help them when you can. It's really, really important, because as you help them, you also help yourself. And, of course, you help our great, amazing country. This is Dr. D. Levi Harrison, the Gamer's Doctor, saying I'll see you next week. Game on. Bye.